What a goose. Well, that was my friend's reaction to the news that renowned author Philip Yancey had confessed to an 8-year adulterous relationship. Yes, 8 years. He's 76. What a goose indeed. His book, Disappointment with God, about Job, had a significant impact on me in the 80s. And in the 90s, his books, What's So Amazing About Grace and the Jesus I Never Knew, did the same. Now he's trashed his legacy as he confessed to an 8-year adulterous relationship with a married woman. He's announced he's stepping down from public life, and this obviously wasn't a momentary lapse. It was 8 years of living a double life. This immortal proverb comes to my mind when I think about this sort of situation. Sin will take you further than you want to go, keep you longer than you want to stay, and cost you more than you want to pay. I mean, 8 years of deception, lies, inventing stories. I need to go away for a week's writing retreat. Oh, and I've got that meeting in New York City with my publisher this weekend. I'll be back in a couple of days. I mean, how many cunning schemes did he and this woman run for 8 years? You know, it's a complete moral failure. Just beyond the sexuality of it all, it's a failure at the deepest core of his character. One of the legends in faith in my eyes is Jack Hayford, the Foursquare pastor in America, who had a significant impact on my life through the 80s and 90s and beyond. He preached an incredible 2-part series on sexual sin, and he actually says immorality, adultery, is different to other sins. I think adultery is different. It leaves a different mark on our soul. I mean, you can steal a loaf of bread from the local shop and pay a fine. That's sin. You commit adultery with a woman for 8 years. Don't tell me those sins are on the same level. There are different sins and different consequences to sins. I think we need to understand this and incorporate it into our theology of sin, redemption, forgiveness, and restoration. Jack Hayford references Paul when he says it's a sin against the body of your life. Paul says you sin against your body, but Hayford said it's more than just your physical body, it's the body of your life. It's the body of, if you like, an author's work. Yancey's 8-year run of hypocrisy is just disheartening. It's disappointing. I know some people will feel shattered by this. Others who don't know him will just go, my goodness, what on earth is this? But I reckon he must have known the day of reckoning would come. It comes for all of us. Yet he persevered over 8 years. You can tell the 8 years has had an impact on me. Stetzer said this, in a sadly ironic twist from the author of The Jesus I Never Knew, we were all encountering a Yancey we really did not know, and he knew the man personally. I mean, I just think about his poor wife. And I think this leads to another question I have. Was Yancey's confession prompted by being found out, by the risk of being found out, by declining health, by fading public relevance? And here's another question. Will he continue to earn royalties from his books on grace and integrity? I mean, what does genuine repentance and appropriate consequence look like in this situation? Even if the confession is genuine, I think these circumstances invite this sort of scrutiny, and I would like to see him actually dedicate a portion, if not all of his royalties over the next number of years to a specific nonprofit who actually helps people in various circumstances. Feeling stuck as a church leader? Growing your church doesn't have to be overwhelming. The Hub gives you step-by-step roadmaps to grow a healthy church in just 20 minutes a day. Join the hundreds of church leaders who found their breakthrough by accessing my 4 decades of ministry experience, which delivers genuine results. Start your free 14-day trial today at growahealthychurch.com/hub. You know, whenever a leader falls, it gives us all a chance to take stock of our own holiness and walk with Christ. Di and I have been married for nearly 40 years, and we have not committed adultery. Been tempted? I'm as human as the rest of them, of course. Thought about it? Of course. So let me share some personal safeguards we practice. First, we have total transparency with each other. Di has full access and I have full access to each other's phone, emails, and even we share on Google Maps our location. It's not that we demand this of each other. We just want to do it for each other. It's a way to protect each other. Any mentoring or coaching or meeting I have with a woman leader requires dies one awareness and approval. So if I'm meeting with a woman somewhere online or in person in a cafe, always in a public setting, Di will know about it. And when I'm leaving that appointment, in fact, when I'm leaving all appointments to come home, I normally send Di a text on my way home. So she has a good awareness of where I'm at and what's going on. Secondly, I think it's really important to keep short accounts of God. Regular confession of sin, not just your actions, but temptations and thoughts. I think that's really important to do regularly with the Lord, to acknowledge your own failings and your own scenarios. I think thirdly, let me ask you, who can you talk to? If you're sorely tempted, deeply tempted in this area, and begin to wade in some dangerous circumstances, who can you go to and say, hey, I really need to own up and I need some help. I need some intervention for me. It's not about the other person, it's about me. Every leader needs someone they can be brutally honest with, who knows your struggles, who asks you the hard questions. If you don't have that person, I'd suggest you need to search them out pretty quick. And here's the major one for me. I'd like to consider the here and now and the eternal consequences. What if I got involved in adultery with another woman? I think about the devastation I'd bring to my wife, Diane, my children, my grandsons, oh my goodness, my friends who trust me, the pastors I coach and mentor. What would this do to them? The ripple effect of moral failure extends far beyond me and you. So one more tip I'd give you is never discuss marital issues with someone of the opposite sex. This is where so many moral failures begin. If I'm having struggles at home with my wife and I start telling another woman one-on-one, I just want to share where I'm at. Emotional intimacy precedes physical intimacy, and tell her about the struggles. And that woman says, oh, poor you. Suddenly, there's a link, there's a connection, and it's unhealthy. If you're struggling in your marriage, talk to a counselor, a same-sex mentor, or your pastor, whatever feels right and comfortable for you. But never allow someone to become an emotional substitute for your spouse, unless it's a professional relationship. But honestly, if I went to a professional therapist for this sort of help, I would always go to a man. I haven't read Yancey for years, and now I would never go back to his material, but I think that's a personal decision everyone needs to make for themselves. For me, his work is now tainted. Not everyone has that position, but for me, the body of his work has a stain that I just can't ignore. Last thought. Paul said, let him who thinks he stands take heed lest he fall. No one's beyond falling. If Philip Yancey, the renowned author, could live a double life for 8 years, so can any of us. Safeguards aren't legalism, they're wisdom, but I think what's baseline foundation for me is a walk with Jesus that's up to date, fresh, and full-hearted. How has this news affected you? Why don't you put something in the comments of maybe even safeguards you have in place? Drop a comment, and if you haven't seen this video, maybe watch this video about Josh Boos, who also did some fairly crazy immoral things, and you also get some ideas on how to avoid that situation in your life.